Hello everyone, my name is Siddhi Vernikar and this is my TOPG task for presentation. So the topic I have chosen today is time management, which is very required in a student's life so that they can move ahead and manage their time well, including studies and extracurricular activities. So let's go ahead and begin with this topic. I am sure that you learn a lot in this presentation, and I hope that you will always try and apply these ways to your personal life as well. So let's go ahead. Okay, so the myths about time management. There are a lot of myths about time management, right? Firstly, we can say that sometimes we think that it's uh it's not something specific. Like we might say that there isn't anything to do in time managing. I mean, time just goes by and you don't have to actually do anything as such. Like if you want to study for, suppose you have thought of studying for 3 hours, but you know that you won't be able to focus for 3 hours at a stretch. I mean, if you are just going to study one day before the exam, it's not going to work out for you, right? And sometimes what happens is we just think that, I'm doing well, I'm passing, I have some sort of good scores, then why do I really have to manage my time more effectively? So, sometimes time management is not focused a lot during school life or in college life. But if you learn these skills of managing your time well, I mean, not like, misusing it for a longer time, but then if you uh, spend your day quite planned and quite you use all the 24 hours in the day, you just accept out the sleep part, and if you manage your day everywhere every day, so you won't have to get hectic and do something on a short notice afterwards, right? And you think that time management is a very boring task to do. It's nothing very, like especially for students think that they can be on their phone watching series all day long, and then their studies suffer a lot. Then you also have to come up with some hobbies so that you feel good about yourself, you feel you have to go for exercises. So all of it, if it's jumbled up, and sometimes you just skip all of these important parts like exercise and meditation. It's so important, and if you skip it out of, like, even for your a week, if you skip out of it, you notice the changes that you aren't keeping well, you are mentally stressed all the time because all the work is getting piled up more and more, and that will take all the fun out of my life according to me. The next is, you might say that I work better under pressure. Like if you are, suppose, you have a presentation the next day, or you have to go for a event or an exam, uh, maybe a Viva exam, and you say that one day before the exam, I'll remember everything the next day, and then obviously you're gonna forget the rest of it. Then there's no use of studying at all, I would say. And you might say that I work better under pressure, but if I don't have a time bomb kicking somewhere else, then I am probably doing, uh, I won't be able to focus more. But that is not true. It's just under you and under your control how you work under pressure as well, or without pressure as well. I think everybody should learn to work without any kind of pressure. Just do things on your own, you know and uh, and if we talk about the next thing, which is I always have less time left for myself, and like no matter what I do, I won't have enough time. So if we think like that, if we use, even if we try and utilize it better, so I won't be having enough time for myself. But you say that if I have an exam and I have to study so much. The syllabus is vast. I have a lot of books to read, notes to make, a lot of lectures to see again, and I won't have enough time left. So let not the situation be your case. Do everything time to time and finish these tasks every day, little by little, rather than doing everything all at once. And it won't be as effective as it would have been if you had done these tasks step by step without a lot of pressure, right? Yeah. So these were some common myths about time management. Mostly we think about this most of the time, but let's begin and see how we can manage our time more effectively. Okay. Now here I like to schedule a time management seminar on my calendar as soon as I can find time to buy a calendar. So what does this suggest? So this woman is probably a workaholic, and she's saying that if she's finding time to buy a calendar, then she can manage time. Okay, you don't need an external source to manage your time. You don't need a full blown calendar. You could just write anything on a paper, your time schedule, or you could just save notes on your phone, right? That could also be done. So you could also do that every time, and you don't need to find time. Time is always there. You could just utilize it more efficiently. So let's go ahead and remember these clauses which are being put up here. So the truth about time management. Okay, let's go ahead and see what is the truth. See, the myths we have learned, but what is the actual truth? What is the benefits rather of using time management as a tool to increase your effectivity? So it does increase your productivity. It does make you more efficient and more functional in day-to-day life. Sometimes we do feel we don't want to study or we don't want to do anything the whole day. That is fine. But let not that day be your everyday. You should find time for yourself and something that you are interested in. Plus, you also have to find time for which is most important for yourself and which is studying and making sure that you understand the concepts. I would suggest rather than theoretically going like reading the theory all the time. You should make notes. You should read them again. Just writing notes are not going to help more, but you should read them again and again so that it sets in your mind. You could even record yourselves reading it out so that it also becomes like a more activity, and it reduces stress later on when you have to actually give an exam or there's a meeting scheduled. So it reduces a lot of stress. And if the stress is increasing day by day because your backlog is not getting covered, so that let that not be the case. And it does improve your self-esteem as well. If you are unprepared for a longer time, then you might think that I'm not going to be of any worth in the studies, or I'm not going to be more helpful to others. And you can if like some if teachers are asking you, right, if teachers are asking you something in class and you're not prepared, so after that you know that you didn't study the whole night or the whole week or the whole month. you know that. But the teacher is not going to accept any of your excuses. Okay, and that will also reduce your self-esteem because you are unsure of what you are supposed to be doing. You are unsure of the subject itself. Yes. So, and it does help achieve balance in life. Like you can see the woman over here is uh, she's also buying groceries, she's cooking, she's managing her time with her job, she can go out for herself, she can buy clothes, she can shop, then she can again, find time for a hobby, she can exercise, she can do all of these things. It's not like you have to multitask all the time. Throughout the week, you can just separate these activities every day, every time. You can separate these activities more and more, uh, like spread them out. Let it not be a clump, and also it increases your self confidence as well. See, I would say that yeah, I think self esteem and self confidence are related, and when you know what you are about to be doing, then you are more self confident of yourself. Self confidence is not just about being confident within, it's also being confident about the subject matter at hand and focusing more on your content rather than the way you speak. And also it does help you reach your goals if you want to have good grades, and if you want to do well in your job or in your ca- ca- career, then it does help you a lot. Yes. So as it is estimated, that there are 168 hours in a week. That's probably a lot. And how much of it do we spend not doing anything at all apart from sleeping? I think it would be a lot as well. So what it is, we have to separate the things which we find trivial and what we find more, important than other activities. So you can divide it in being urgent and not urgent. Okay, like if it's urgent, you might have to probably, you know, not be distracted a lot and be focusing more on urgent things. Okay, and you should not give away to distractions, interruptions, and maybe someone asks for your help, but you should prioritize your work more. And whenever possible, you should reject and avoid the task. Okay, and if they are not urgent, like if you want to surf on the internet, if you want to use your social medias, and if you want to just sleep, probably take a nap. Okay, nap is fine. If you want to energize yourself, I think a half an hour nap is fine. But if you want to play games, I think you should, it's okay. Like, it's not like you can't do these things at all. We do need entertainment at some point in our life, and we probably are thinking about it all the time. So we should have a time scheduled for it so that you don't overdo it. Sometimes what happens, we pick out a social media or something like games, and we just spend the whole day probably or half the day to, on it, and so it's so harmful for your eyes as well and harmful for your attention span as well. Our attention span has reduced so much, and it's so I know it shouldn't be this way, I feel. And we are not able to focus in class, we're not able to focus anywhere else. And ultimately, we are not focusing on our life as well. You are just giving up ultimately. So, we should minimize these things and plan better, right? Okay, steps to manage your time. Set goals. Set reasonable expectations, right? If you're setting goals, you are planning yourself ahead of time, and if you are doing reasonable expectations, like if you are you if you are thinking that you are going to cover the whole syllabus in one night, I mean, that's not possible at all. And you can't even cover one subject in probably one day, because uh, probably it's a vast subject, and probably there are many concepts included in it. If you skip most of the concepts, then you are not learning anything at all. And if you are like thinking that I'm going to go to the gym for every day in a week, I mean, by the end of the day, you will surely be exhausted, and you won't be able to do anything for yourself. So that is what I think. And I think we should have reasonable expectations with respect to schedule. Okay, yeah, make a schedule. Probably you should write down what you think you should achieve at least by the end of the day. At least we should start first with the day, and then we can move on to going ahead and making an elaborate schedule for the whole week. Probably then you can do it for the whole month. When you are it's like a skill. If you are you have to take it step by step. You have to go slow, then you have to learn from your mistakes, that you weren't able to complete something on time, you had to shift it to the next day, then why did that happen? So that is what is more important. And revisit and revise your plans. Okay.